From Charlotte, North Carolina, she is now a Network Operations Center technician with the National Reconnaissance Office in Los Angeles, California. In 2008, she solved a faulty system timing upgrade, correcting an error that eluded senior technicians for 3 months and got the system online in 24 hours. A stalwart leader, she oversaw a 12-member installation team on a network upgrade that doubled the Predator's armed reconnaissance and interdiction mission capability. Accompanied by her husband, Senior Airman David Leaciolonghi, Staff Sergeant Joanna S. Ivales Leaciolonghi. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, she is the Superintendent of Operations at the 13th Intelligence Squadron at Beale Air Force Base in California. She managed 1,400 ISR missions and 8,800 hours of full-motion video. Under her leadership, the unit reported potential improvised explosive device attacks and threats to coalition convoys. Accompanied by a colleague, Airman First Class Iona Henderson, Senior Master Sergeant Mary A. Bechdel. From Hopkinsville, Kentucky, he is the Host Aviation Resource Manager with the 170th Operations Support Squadron at Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. Supporting Operation Enduring Freedom, he maintained 25 secure key links for 3 units and sent accurate and timely data to the Tanker Airlift Control Center. Accompanied by his sister, Ms. Linda Reed, Master Sergeant Tyrone F. Fingham. From Eugene, Oregon, she is an aircraft maintenance technician with the 446th Maintenance Squadron at McChord Air Force Base in Washington. She assisted with the dismantling and recovery of a C-130 in downtown Baghdad, Iraq. While deployed to New Zealand, she provided maintenance support for an aeromedical evacuation flight of an injured National Science Foundation scientist from Antarctica. Accompanied by her husband, Mr. Brian W. Scholl, Senior Airman Chanel H. Bolton Scholl. From Fredericksburg, Virginia, he is a non-commissioned officer in charge of the Security Forces resources of the 100th Security Forces Squadron at Royal Air Force Mildenhall in the United Kingdom. He stopped an explosive-laden car in Iraq, evacuating 60 people from around the car. He led a raid on an insurgent stronghold, capturing 2 terrorists and thwarting the kidnapping of an Army officer. Accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Leah Carter, Master Sergeant John T. Carter. From Tucson, Arizona, he is a non-commissioned officer in charge of the explosive ordnance disposal flight with the 375th Civil Engineering Squadron at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. He led 251 improvised explosive device missions in Iraq and captured 36 terrorists. He guided the recovery and disposal of improvised explosive devices, reducing the enemy's stockpile by an estimated 31%. Accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Angela Herrera, Technical Sergeant Manuel J. Herrera. From Conroe, Texas, he is an explosive ordnance disposal technician with the 775th Civil Engineer Squadron at Hill Air Force Base in Utah. He raided 14 weapons cache sites, destroying 14,388 pounds of explosives. He removed 4 injured soldiers from wreckage and cleared a helicopter medical evacuation landing zone to quickly airlift the injured. Accompanied by a colleague, Technical Sergeant John Levicka, Technical Sergeant Benjamin Paul Horton. From Miami, Florida, she is a chaplain assistant with the 42nd Air-Based Wing at Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama. She managed the chaplain facility at Kirkuk Air Base in Iraq. She led the first ever Joint Service Turkmen Mosque visit, enhancing the Chapel Corps' foreign relation. Accompanied by her husband, Master Sergeant Robert Alaufer, Technical Sergeant Jennifer Alaufer. From Fort Hancock, Texas, she is a non-commissioned officer in charge of the mental health flight in the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention and Treatment Clinic with the 27th Special Operations Medical Group at Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. She created a superior alcohol and drug abuse prevention and treatment outcome metrics process that the Inspector General selected as a benchmark for 74 wings. Accompanied by her husband, Staff Sergeant Victor M. Lozada, Technical Sergeant Marisol M. Lozada. From Lackland Air Force Base in Texas, he is a chief of the horizontal section in the 18th Civil Engineer Squadron at Kadena Air Base in Japan. An anti-terrorism and force protection expert, he made fence repairs on 27 miles of base perimeter, protecting 6,500 troops. During a 4-hour firefight, he killed 5 insurgents and wounded 9 more. Accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Nicole M. Pollock, Master Sergeant Christopher W. Pollock. From Hershey, Pennsylvania, he is a Tactical Air Control Party journeyman with the 13th Air Support Operations Squadron at Fort Carson in Colorado. In an extremely active Tactical Air Control Party, he engaged in 20 missions and 3 firefights. During a dismounted mission, he provided security and returned fire for Joint Terminal Attack Controllers, facilitating 18 hours of close air support. Accompanied by his mother, Kelly Fiorentino, Senior Airman Alexander W. Royal. From Mansfield, Ohio, he is a manager of communications and information inspections with Headquarters Air Force Space Command in the Office of the Inspector General at Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado. He expertly managed network use after a fiber cut severely hampered Central Command operations, allowing more than 50 mission platforms to remain fully operational. Accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Eileen Stiegel, Senior Master Sergeant Jeffrey E. Stiegel. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the pride of the United States Air Force, the Outstanding Airman of the Year for 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's hear it for the 2009 Outstanding Airman of the Year.